What's good, everybody? It's me, Kyle Cat, back another day, another grind, bringing you a Pokemon Unite tier list. Today's tier list is going to be purely solo queue focused. This is all going to be my opinion, so obviously I'm going to say some things you don't agree with. That's just kind of how opinions work. And yeah, I've already ordered the Pokemon in the order that I want to talk about them in specific. All rounders, and we have attackers, defenders, supporters, speedsters. So yeah, let's jump into it. First, we have Dragonite. I think Dragonite is a really good Pokemon. Hyper Beam, you can still Hyper Beam secure almost every objective in the game. The only time you can't is if you're not there, or if you die in the process. And considering Dragonite actually has some thickness to him, if you're there for the fight, just be ready to Hyper Beam. That's all you gotta do, and you win. Lol. Serena is so freaking good. One of the most versatile characters in this game. You can chase people really well. You can escape really well. You can live really well. You can fight really well. Your Unite's really good. You can dive on people really well. Its early game is okay. Its late game is okay. Serena's just a good freaking Pokemon. Age of Flash. Age of Flash is kind of like Serena, but a little bit more skill involved. Because with Serena, you have your moves constantly. With Age of Flash, you kind of have to time your moves and time your boosted attacks. But if you're a good Age of Flash player, you're gonna win almost every fight you enter. It's just that simple. Machamp's really freaking good. I'll put it in the A plus tier. Its Unite is great. Its early is great. Its early game is great. It stacks really well. Almost everything about Machamp is just really freaking great. The only complaint you could have about Machamp is that he's not a ranged character, but he has like 1.5 million dashes. So, and then one of his two of his moves increase his movement speed, so it's just great. Buzzwole, trash. I can't stand Buzzwole. His dashes are terrible. His grabs require you to not be hindrance resistant at all. This Pokemon's bad. I'm gonna move on before I upset myself. Azumarill, freaking fantastic character. Fights really well, heals really well. Early is great. Gets all of his moves really early. Damage is great. Just a great Pokemon overall. Garchomp, he's an interesting one. So Garchomp got a new buff recently. I want to put him in the A tier because I think Garchomp's good. I think he was good before the buffs. He obviously had some unique problems of Garchomp being the lack of a secure move, really. But if you don't have a secure move, you shouldn't be ripping objectives all by yourself. You should make sure someone with a secure move is there helping you. It struggles for experience, but it farms really fast. So again, it's just a lack of secure move. If you can get all your farm, if you can get the center, this Pokemon's great. If you can just shred people and stay close to them, it's great. But the fact that you have to stay close to them, that's the part where it's a little rough. Sticking next to people is kind of difficult with this character. I think he's still really good. Maybe he's not an A tier. Maybe I'll move him down to the B tier, but I think he's great. Tyranitar, hear me out. Hear me out. I think Tyranitar is one of the best characters in this game. The only thing holding Tyranitar back is the fact that he sucks before level 9. 1 through 8, you're probably the worst character in the game. But once you hit level 9, you just win everything, no matter what. He chases really well. His damage output is crazy. He has an execute on his Unite. He ignores shields and defense. So, oh no, enemy team got Rayquaza. Okay, there's a Tyranitar standing on base. He will defend against all 5 enemies because he can hit through all 5 enemy shields. Come on now, that's insane. Tyranitar is good. Maybe he's not S tier. I might move him down to A+, but I think Tyranitar is really freaking good. Lucario. Lucario is one of those characters, I feel like people got desensitized to how good Lucario is. Lucario is freaking fantastic. Its extreme speed still shreds people. Its power up punch still deletes people. Close combat is still good. Bone Rush is good and has its own utility. This character is good. I don't know why people fell off of him. I'm not gonna put him in the S tier just because I feel like he's not as good as some of the S tier characters I have in mind. But what happened to Lucario? Where did this guy go? Scissor, you may notice I have Scissor and Scyther separated because I think Scyther's more of a speedster. Scissor, I'll put in the A tier. I don't think he's that great of a Pokemon. He's not bad by any means. My only issue with him is his fighting takes forever. Like, a full health fight, like if you enter a full health fight, Scissor versus Scissor, that fight's gonna last for like 10 minutes. It's going to last the entirety of the freaking Unite match. Because their damage output is kind of low. It's high, it's decent, it's good. But if you have like a Blissey that's healing whoever you're fighting, you're never gonna freaking kill him. Uh, Scissor also has health healing, so he'll take forever to die as well. It's like, I don't know. Let's say it's a freaking Scissor versus a Slowbro. That fight's gonna take at least a full minute and a half. Let's say it's a Scissor versus a Venusaur. That fight's gonna take forever. Because if you're fighting a character with healing, you're not doing more damage than they are healing, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. It just takes forever. Charizard, I think this character is great. Originally, I thought its Unite move was the only good thing about it, but no. It's Fire Blast, Flare Blitz, uh, Fire Punch, and Flamethrower. All good moves. All really great moves. The stuns on Flare Blitz and Fire Punch, really good. The freaking mobility of Flamethrower and the slow of Flame Chart or Fire Spin, it's so good. Pokemon's so good. Its Unite move, insane. The only thing that you can stop its Unite move is either killing it, which is kind of hard when it's burning you alive, or Slowbro Unite, which is very specific. So yeah, that's all that is all of our all-rounders. I will go on to next. We'll do Cinderace and Greninja at the same time. I think Cinderace is a little bit better than Greninja in my opinion because it's less skill-based. Like if you play Blaze Kick Cinderace, Blaze Kick Plus, you use Blaze Kick Plus and then just mash the A button, you win. It like that is literally the win button. Cinderace feels easier to play, and therefore it's easier to win with it. That being said, Greninja is a little bit more difficult to play, but if you're a good Greninja player, you win. Almost every fight you enter, unless you get crowd control and stunned to the end of your life. Like, it's so good. Gardevoir. For some reason, people are throwing Gardevoir to like the D and C tier. They think it's bad. I personally think Gardevoir is really good. It has crowd control moves on its Psychic and Moonblast. Its damage output is insane with Future Sight and Future Shock? No. Psyshock and Future Sight. Damage on those is crazy. Its Unite move is really freaking good if you can get multiple people in it. I don't know why people underrate Gardevoir. I think Gardevoir is a little bit better than B tier, but I'll put it in the B tier just to, I guess, fall in line with what everyone else is saying. Pikachu. For some delusional reason, people think Pikachu and Ninetales are bad. Ninetales and Pikachu, I honestly think are really good. I think Ninetales is a little bit better. But I don't know why people act like Ninetales and Pikachu are bad. Like, yeah, they don't have that much mobility, but okay, they're a squishy attacker. How many of squishy attackers don't have good mobility? Like, come on now. They can stun you every 3 seconds, it feels like. So that's really good, especially if you have teammates. Their Unite moves are a little bit lackluster, mainly referring to Ninetales. So if they do buff that, I would want them to buff Ninetales Unite. But everything else about Ninetales feels really good. I don't know why people act like it's not. Its early game is great. Pikachu's early game is great. Pikachu's Unite move is great. Its moves are great. Like, I don't know why people think Pikachu and Ninetales are worse than they are. Glaceon, still really good. Glaceon and Espeon, honestly, they're both similar because they both have secure moves that do a lot of damage. Icy Wind and Ice Shard, no. Icy Wind and Icicle Spear for Glaceon. And then Psyshock mainly for Espeon. Those moves are really good, and like they are carried by those moves. You select those moves, you just win. Like it feels like that's just you just win. Sylveon, people will say this is weird for Sylveon. People will say Sylveon is fine, and then they'll complain about Mystical Fire. I think Mystical Fire is okay. It's not a great move, But people will say that Mystical Fire needs a buff, and then they'll turn around and put it in a tier list. Oh, it's fine. Hyper Voice is really good. Mystical Fire is okay. It doesn't need anything. And like, no, Mystical Fire doesn't do what people want it to do. So they play Hyper Voice. Then they play Hyper Voice, and they're like, oh, this character's fine. That's no, 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 no. Buff Mystical Fire, and this character is great. But they haven't buffed Mystical Fire, so this character is just okay. Um, People think I've always thought that Hyper Voice is really good, which it is. But all of a sudden, like recency bias, people have been talking about Sylveon a lot, saying that Triple Glasses Sylveon is so good, which it is. I'm not gonna say it's not, but like, come on, people. I don't know. Sylveon, it's a good character. It could use some help, but it's a good character. I would want them to buff Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire probably puts it to the B tier, but Hyper Voice keeps it in A. I'll leave it at that. Venusaur. Venusaur's doing great right now. I'll put it. I'll put it A tier or A plus tier. Venusaur is doing really great. The buff for special defense and health on its stats help the Petal Dance Giga Drain build so much. It's crazy. Duraludon. This Pokemon's great. Melts things really quickly. Shreds things really quickly. Secures things really quickly. It's Unite move. You can set Unite move on Rayquaza, and it just literally melts like right before your eyes. That's like 10,000 damage you're putting on Rayquaza. This character is good at burning objectives. It's good at burning opponents. It's good at burning wild Pokemon. It's just damage, damage, damage. Cramorant. I don't know where to put Cramorant. Cramorant's okay. Um, I wouldn't say it's super good or anything, but I wouldn't say it's bad. Like, Cramorant's just okay, it feels. Delphox, really good. Probably not S tier, but it's uh, Flame Charge is really good for mobility. Mystical Fire is really good for resets. Fire Spin is really good for crowd control, and then Fire Blast actually is pretty damageable itself. Delphox is crazy. Its Unite move is up every 2 seconds. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Decidueye, really good character. It's... Okay, Decidueye's problem is that it has no mobility. Which you would think makes it worse, because once it's up in the fight, it's kind of just dead weight. But that's the thing, you're not supposed to be up in the fight. If you're hanging back and you have teammates that are blocking for you, you're doing your job. You're uniting at full range. You're shooting people with arrows, lowering their special defense with Spirit Shackle. Like, Decidueye's good. And I know I said this is a solo queue tier list, but even in solo queue, as long as you have an ally between you and your opponent, which isn't that hard to do, just go behind the ally. Like, just because you're in solo queue doesn't mean you can't, like, say, oh, I have a Snorlax on my team. Let me wait for the Snorlax to go in before I start fighting. Like, you can still do that in solo queue. It can secure things from really far away. It does get dove on really quickly, but so does freaking Espeon, Duraludon, like, Delphox at times. Like, you can still dive on every other character in this game. That is not a problem unique to Decidueye. Decidueye is okay. He's doing great, and I love his arrow build. Mew. This character, I feel like they tried to nerf this character, and they did nerf the character, but it's Solar Beam still half health the entire roster. Its basic attack, boosted basic attack still does a crap ton of damage. This Pokemon's still good. They did nerf it, and I appreciate the nerf, but man, it's still so good. Crustle. Oh, we're on to our defenders already. So that was our attackers. Here's our defenders. Crustle is a really good Pokemon. Um, I feel like people play Crustle in a way where it's like they're just constantly backcapping and like taking enemy farm, which is good, don't get me wrong. But if you're scoring while we're trying to take Rayquaza and then we don't take Rayquaza because we didn't have that one extra person, that's when Crustle was like, okay, you're bad, you should have been here. And it's like, Greedent just simply does it better. Oh, I already put Blastoise up. Blastoise, I don't really care about Blastoise. He's kind of underwhelming to me. Greedent, Does everything I said about Kressel, but he just does it better for some reason. I don't know what reason he does it better, but he just does it better. Greedon plays his own game. It's really hard to stop a Greedon. Greedon can live forever. He can fight forever. He actually has crazy damage output with Bullet Seed. His Unite move is really good because it gives him all of his abilities unlimited for a little bit of time. It's crazy. Mamoswine, I think, is really freaking good. Mamoswine is a character I feel like we should see more. Mamoswine's really good. Its Unite move's actually pretty good now because of the like extra defense it gets. It's Mamoswine's good. Slowbro, I I don't know why people say Slowbro's worse than he is. Slowbro's freaking amazing. He can heal forever. He can defend forever. He can live forever. He can crowd control forever. This character's good. I don't know why people say he's not. Scald can actually do a lot of damage. Surf can actually do a lot of damage and crowd control. Telekinesis can hold people still. Its Unite move can literally stop Charizard's Unite. Slowbro's good. I don't know why people act like he's not. Snorlax, also good. I'd say Slowbro's a little bit better. But Snorlax is really good. Block Snorlax is unstoppable, it feels like. If you're getting blocked by a Snorlax and you get shoved into a wall, and then you get melted by a Razor Leaf Decidueye, a Scyther, a freaking Cinderace, a Pikachu, or any other character, you're unable to move because of Snorlax. But then you realize that I'm talking about solo queue and you want to move it down to the A tier because it's not that great on its own. Like, it's not that great on its own. Snorlax is literally you have to have someone helping you. Unless you want to run Flail, which then you can carry a little bit, but I don't even think Flail's good enough to stop that. Trevenant, you can actually do some crazy damage with Trevenant. You can actually carry the team a little bit with Trevenant. Its damage is okay. It can heal forever. Same. It's pretty much just another Slowbro, really. Wigglytuff. Oh, we're on to our supporters. That was quick. Wigglytuff, I don't think it's that great. It definitely has its use, putting people to sleep, rolling out on them, Dazzling Gleam, and whatever the Slappy Slap move. Those are all good moves. Like, nothing's wrong with it. I just wish they kind of gave Wigglytuff a little bit of healing, like self-healing at least, because aside from that, it doesn't really have any kind of sustain. It just puts enemies to sleep, maybe hits them with a Dazzling Gleam or Double Slap, but if it doesn't kill them, it's just waiting for its moves to recharge so it can put them on sleep again, and most times, you're just gonna die before that happens. Mr. Mime, broken. Still broken. They nerfed it, still good. They nerfed its Unite move, still good. Unite move, not Unite move. Mr. Mime, still freaking good. Just checking something. That's at 5, okay. Hoopa. They're trying to help Hoopa out. I don't want to put Hoopa any higher than it, like B tier, because I don't think Hoopa's still that good. Its Unite move is great, but if you're solo as Hoopa, you kind of have to rely on the team. You don't have any kind of carry yourself. Clefable. Clefable is annoying. You can shut people down with Clefable. Every single move of certain Pokemon are dashes, and if you put gravity down, they can't do anything. Some people's Unite moves count as a dash. Some people's basic attacks count as a dash. It's crazy. Gravity is crazy. It's broken. It's insane. The only complaint I have about Clefable is its healing is kind of slow. So most people can just damage you before you heal your ally too much. And yeah, that's about it. Eldegoss is doing great right now. They gave Eldegoss some buffs, and you can actually feel it. Like, you can do over 100,000 healing with Eldegoss. It's crazy. Like, not to talk about Blissey, but it's Blissey levels of healing and stuff like that. Blissey and Eldegoss they feel like the supporters to be right now, aside from Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime's not a supporter. He's an attacker. Moving on. He's a tanky attacker. Moving on. Gengar, broken. Gengar is still super strong, still one of the best characters in the game. Its combo ability for solo queue is just insane because you see one squishy attacker. Okay, looking at the S tier right now. Gengar sees an enemy Gengar, boom, dead in 2 hits. Next, Delphox, dead in 2 hits. Charizard, dead in 2 hits. And if you're not dead in 2 hits, you're dead in 2 hits and a basic attack. Like, character's just freaking good. Dang, we're on to our speedsters already. Talonflame, really freaking good. I love Talonflame in this map. People play it like Crustle. They focus on scoring and taking enemy farm a little too much. But as long as you're showing up to objectives and everything, you're good. You're good. You're great. You're fantastic. Scyther, exact opposite of Scissor's problem. Scissor fights last for 30 seconds and 40 seconds and whole minutes, it feels like. Scyther's, it gets in there, it gets the job done, and you're done with the fight in 2 seconds. And if you're not done with the fight in 2 seconds, you're done with the fight in 3 seconds and you die. Like, Scyther is, he either rips people apart or get ripped apart. Rips people apart or gets ripped apart. Jeez. Scyther feels like a speedster, and I like Scyther better than Scissor. That could be wrong, but I don't care. Dodrio. I feel like Dodrio's pretty good. I don't know if I want to put him A plus or A. Dodrio's really good. They did nerf the healing on its boosted basic, but they didn't nerf the damage or anything on like any of its moves. So really, it's just lost a little bit of sustainability. But aside from that, it's a great Pokemon. Zeraora. People are delusional when they talk bad about Zeraora. Its leveling is so bad. Okay, and it gets a move at 6, 8, and Unite move at 9. Characters like Tyranitar get one move at 5, and then their next move's at 9, and its Unite move at 9. That's worse than Zeraora. Characters like Decidueye, you get a move at 7 and 8. Characters like Cinderace, you get a move at, I believe, 7 and 8. Or, no. Yeah, 7 and 8. Like, it, character's not that bad. People act like this character has horrible leveling issues, and it really doesn't. Other characters have worse leveling issues than it, but whatever, I guess. Go off, whatever, it doesn't matter. Who's next? Absol? Absol's my main. So this could be a little bit biased, but I don't think Absol is as good as people think it is. I do think it's better than Zeraora, but I think of the speedsters, it is currently the worst. I don't think it has... Not the worst. I think it's second worst, and Zeraora is a little bit worse than Absol. I don't think Absol is doing bad right now necessarily. I think it just, every other speedster does its job better, it feels like. Pursuit, I have a little bit more of a liking to now than Night Slash, because Pursuit's actually kind of... it's pretty fun to do. Your enemy's like, oh, I'm half health, let me run away. And then now you just kill them because they turn their back to you. I like Absol. Absol's good. Zoroark, really good character. Really freaking broken character, honestly. I don't think they should nerf Zoroark, just because if you crowd control this guy one time while it's doing its combo, it has to sit there for like 10 seconds before its moves come back. And in those 10 seconds you can kill it because it is squishy as all get out. So just crowd control this thing, it's dead. It's not super broken. Let's go through some of the characters that have crowd controls. Tyranitar, I think he has a crowd control on its Unite. It might be a little bit of stun. But let's say Tyranitar doesn't. Charizard has like 2 different crowd controls, and its Unite move is a grab. Delphox has a crowd control, Mr. Mime has a crowd control, Gengar has a crowd control, Serena crowd control, Lucario crowd control, Azumarill... Technically on its Unite it has a crowd control, but we'll say Azumarill doesn't. No, Play Rough. But we'll say Azumarill doesn't have a thing, because who's playing Play Rough? Machamp's Dynamic Punch has a crowd control, Mew has a crowd control, Glaceon, I think, has a crowd control? No, it doesn't. Okay. Unless you stand in its free shard or whatever that is. Espeon crowd control, Venusaur boosted basic has a crowd control. Duraludon can do the little bump thingy, Dragon Tail. Decidueye technically has Leaf Storm. Greedent, I don't think he has a crowd control. Mamoswine crowd control. Crowd control. Cotton Spore technically. Egg Bomb. Fly Plus. Dragonite. Outrage has a crowd control technically. Crowd control with its shield move. Crowd control with its pushes and its jump. Like, all these characters have crowd control, and all these characters can stop Zoroark. So all you have to do is just stop the Zoroark before it does the full combo. Like, it's not that hard, people. It's not that hard. Obviously, you can get away with it, but, like, so yeah. That was kind of rambly, but that is going to be my tier list. And I blew through this tier list longer than I expected. This is only 24 minutes, so I might not even have to edit it out that much. So yeah. This is my tier list. When I think of the best characters in the game for solo queue, I'd say Gengar, Delphox, Charizard, Mr. Mime, and then Tyranitar. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks for the tier lists aren't ordered in any way. Like A plus tier is not ordered. It's just all rounders, attackers, defenders, supporters, speedsters. But yeah, um, yeah, there it is. The only tier that's ordered is the S tier, which for solo queue I feel like that should be blindingly obvious. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.